our 90s game today. Again, these videos are showing up in two places. Football guys, they're showing up in your Google Class. You're like, what are you talking about, Coach? I sent you an email to invite you in. There are two groups. There's an incoming juniors and seniors group, and then there's an incoming, and that's one class. There's an incoming sophomores group. Work on combining that into one, but for what we're doing, I'm putting it in both of those. So they're posted there in the stream if you guys know how Google Class works. They're also on Sports U. Parents, if you are on our Sports U page, they're in the Decatur Eagles team part, and you're more than welcome. Dads, you can watch this, and you can even help us out a little bit on and know some of our terminology and how we're doing things. All right, so I'm going to jump in. Quarterbacks. As we get into the 90s now, this is our typical three-step drop stuff. Now, we didn't talk a whole lot, or I didn't talk a whole lot of footwork in our quick game stuff. A lot of times it's just catch and throw. There are times that you want to get a quick three so that you can get a read. We'll talk about footwork as we go. This is our three-step drop. The bottom line is we're still getting three steps as quick as we can while we're scanning down the field and going through our reads. Our shallow game, and we kind of have a nickname for that, we call it our Shout series, is something that has evolved in our time here in Decatur. And so what I've drawn up is our basic way of running our shallow concept or shout out of ACE, okay? And then I've put, and this is something that we have a tag on that changes the read, or the routes change, and so you have got to make sure that you're getting the signal and knowing what to do. Quarterbacks, you got to make sure you know what you're reading. All right, here we go. First one I've got drawn up is ACE shout right. So shout right is saying that our shallow route is going towards the right or from left to right. In this instance, that means that's going to be the H. There are times that we can run X and Z on a shallow. We'll work tags later. This isn't really getting into tags. All right, but if we call shout right, here's the process. X, you're away from the call. Shout right's going to the right, so you got a Paco, a post corner. That's 8 yards. Stick that left foot in the ground, make it look like a post. Once you stick, it's a 5-step route at that point. Stick that left foot at 8. On your 5th step, stick your foot, get to your splash down at 25, like you were running a corner from inside. We'll get in, squeeze some, and you'll be running some corners. And so landmark is going to be the same there. The big key of this route, when you stick at 8, look at the quarterback for those 5 steps. We want those DBs, whether it's a corner or whether it's a safety, thinking that we're about to throw you that post. It's something we do. It's the same angle here, okay? Same angle you run. Stay high, 5-step stick, get on your Paco. 8, run the shallow right here on shout right, all right? You want to be on the D-line's heels, okay? And you want to be underneath 5 yards at the opposite hash from where you're lined up. And then you can climb a little bit. So I may have drawn this just a little bit flat. My apologies, I can't draw very well, okay? But we want to be on the D-line's heels and have a little bit of climb, but we don't ever want to cross 5 yards. And we are trying to get over here to this flat as fast as we can, okay? We are trying to make the defense react to what's happening on this side. If we just call shout right while you're running a hash plus 3, remember that, and I've drawn that straight down the field. If you're lined up 3 yards outside the hash, that's where you're going. But we want our route to end up 3 yards outside the hash, trying to pull some safety coverage with us, especially if they're in quarters or 2, making that guy get out of there. Z's, you're running a 12 dig, and you've got to turn the corner and come inside and then find the window. So it's a little bit different than running a search route. Remember, we looked at search as part of our sneak package. At search, we're turning at 9, coming in and ready to throttle down. This dig is going to keep coming. This window where we want to hit this, all right, is right in here behind the Y. Y is you got to go. You can't get jammed. You can't get held up in there. You've got to get going, all right? F's, I've drawn you up in different spots. Here's what we need. We need you to run a check and a shoot opposite the shallow. So you're going to check and go. Now right here, since it's one of our 90s, this would be a Louis call, all right? And you can go. You can line up on the right, give a Roger call, and still run a shoot to the left. So we've got some things. We're not necessarily tipping our hand where the back has to be. We can tag ram or line on this if we want. With the quarterback having a look out here, sometimes I'm not sure we want to do that, but we can. All right? Quarterbacks, when we just call shout, you're reading the shallow to the dig, back to the shoot, okay? There are times we will take a chance on this Paco. You guys know last year, Leighton ran this route and ran it very, very well. Roman threw that a whole lot, and it's really good, okay? But that's going to be kind of a pre-snap matchup one-on-one that you like. But if we're going to go into the shallow route, it's shallow, dig, shoot. Okay? Quarterbacks, 3-step drop, looking out here in the flat. If rover sits tight, corner bails, we're throwing that shallow. Okay? If it's cloudy out here, rover sits, he's trying to kind of wall the wide, he doesn't get much depth, or the corner sits, then we're off the shallow right now. Coming back to the dig, dig's coming in. That thing ought to be to us by the hash marks. One thing on this dig, make sure it's a 90-degree angle. Don't climb. Okay? We don't want to be running. There's a safety sitting up here somewhere. We don't want to be gaining and running into him. We want to be flat, running away from any man coverage. All right? Back, that shoot is just out there in the flats right now. Okay? All right, here we go. A shot left. It's the exact same concept other way. So now the shallow's coming from right to left. That means Y, you're running the shallow. Z, shallow away from you, shout left. That's not your side. You're running the Paco. 8, stick your right foot. It's a 5-step route at that point, splash down at 25. H, you've got to clear it out and get out of there now. We can't get here to 12 and 15 yards and start looking and shut it down. We are gone. Hash +3, pull coverage with you. X, you got the 12 dig. On the digs, come down in here. When you start to feel that it's really, really wide, you can throttle a little bit, but we're still working at that 90-degree angle inside. Okay, back. I have it drawn here. We got a Louis call. And now we're stepping and checking and shooting to the right, away from the shallow call, out of ace. Okay, our change here is when we tag high. Quarterbacks, we are talking to you in terms of what you're reading. Receivers, you have to know that shout right high is a different route than shout right. So if we call shout right high, right now we still got a Paco back here. We can tag some stuff here. We can. The bottom line is we can come up here and tag the X on and out. We can tag it out here. But right now, let's leave that Paco in, and we can change that up if we need to. All right, so here we go. On shout, this is the old way we used to run, just shout right. We don't do that anymore. Some of y'all, I'm not sure any of y'all have ever done that. And so when we tag high, here's what's going on. H, since it's shout right, nice thing for you, you still got the shallow. Okay? Here's where the routes change. Y, you're running a 10 dig. All right? Z, you're running a 10 post. Y's, we run a wrap. We've done some things there, but this is where we're going to land right now. F, you're still going to check and shoot away from the shallow. Quarterbacks, we are reading this backwards, okay? Or we're reading like the tag says, starting high and then coming high to low. Now, again, remember, this is a matchup deal that we might just take advantage of. When we go to the high call, we're going to read what's happening with the post first. There's a safety sitting right here. If he does not back up or get out over the post, then we're throwing the post right now. 3 steps, get it out. Remember, our splash down stays high on a post. Sticking at 10, staying high. Quarterbacks, don't throw them too fat down in here. Okay, you've got a little bit of room, but don't throw them all the way to the middle of the field if you can help it. All right, just because we don't want this backside safety getting there. All right, so we're going from the post back to the dig. Okay, so post, dig, and then we're just going to go to the shoot. On this right here, shallow-wise, not a whole lot of times. We're running this to kind of draw some attention, but we're going to read it from high back down. So it's post, back here to the dig, right in the middle, back out here to the shoot. Okay? If we ran shout left high, we would flip it. H, you would have the 10 dig. X, you would have the 10 post. And we'd read the post. Remember, quarterbacks, when we read post, we're reading safety to the post side. Again, assuming a 2 safety look, but we're reading this safety and what's going on this hash mark over where the post is happening. Okay? And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Receivers, if you get covered by a corner on a post route, that is your fault. You've got 10 yards to make him think vertical, to use a little bit of a setup stick to make him think you're trying to go outside of him, but get where you're going. This is a home run shot, and we're trying to hit you on it. Okay? There's our shallow series. Again, hope you're getting a chance to watch these videos, maybe even get out and run some of this stuff, even if it's not full speed. Get comfortable getting back with the terminology and keep picking it up as we go. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text message if you got questions. We miss you. Still, I'm ready to see you guys. Still got the quarantine beard going on, goat and all. It's getting gray. I blame you guys for that. Love y'all. We'll see you.